Hi guys, I hope you're good. I hope you're well and excited for our first session on fractions today. And while we start fractions, we are starting specifically with the multiplication and division of fractions. All right. So I hope you have your notes, you have your snacks day, and let's enjoy this lesson. So the first part of our lesson today looks specifically at multiplication. So when multiplying a fraction by another fraction, we multiply numerators and multiply denominators in this manner. So if you have an example of A divided by B, trying to find the product of C multiplied by D, we simply say this is given by A times C divided by B times D. So it means whenever we have multiplication, guys, we simply multiply directly. So it means numerator multiplied by numerator, and also the denominator multiplies the other denominator. So that is why your product here will be AC divided by BD. So on multiplication, we multiply numerators with the numerators, and also denominators multiply the other denominators. So we just go straight like that. All right. So as we try the next one now, which is division. So on division, whenever we're dividing a fraction by another fraction, we invert and multiply. So you need to invert and multiply. What does it mean? It means if I have A divided by B dividing C over D, we need to invert this part. So this will be written as A over B multiplied by D over C. So we have now managed to invert the values. So you invert and multiply. Okay, so now you can easily say the answer there will be A times D divided by B times C, and your product from that will be AD divided by BC. So the rule of division is quite straightforward. You invert and multiply. The rule of multiplication is you multiply directly. So as you've seen now, when we tried to invert, so we've inverted the value and multiplied. So it means we brought back the laws of multiplication once we've managed to invert and multiply. So you bring back the laws of multiplication. So now let's do our first example and see what it has for us. I have to simplify 18sy to the power of 3 over ax squared times ax all squared divided by 3s. So we need to simplify that value. So the laws of multiplication say we need to multiply directly. However, we have an exponent there. So rules say we need to break down the exponents first. Brackets and exponents need to be solved first. So we are going to write 18 sy3 to the power of 3 divided by ax squared. So I didn't do anything to the left hand side, and I will say this is times. So the laws of exponents say we need to bring in the exponent to every value that's inside the brackets. So this is going to be a squared x squared divided by 3s. So we divide by 3s, and now we are applying our laws of multiplication using the fractions. So it means I need to multiply my fractions directly. So the numerators must multiply the numerators, and denominators must multiply the denominators. So I have 18s y to the power of 3 multiplied by a squared x to the power of 2 divided by a x to the power of 2, 3 times 3, let me write that properly, times 3s. And the product of that, let me write it on top there. So the product of that we're checking if we have any value that looks the same. No, we don't have values that look the same, so we're going to write this as 18 s y to the power of 3 a to the power of 2 x to the power of 2 over. Now let's check also underneath. We don't have any values that we can add the exponent, so this is going to be 3 s a x to the power of 2. Now, as you see, at this point, you are not really done simplifying, because now you need to check if you have any like terms of such sort and try to divide them. So let's see if we have, what is 18? We start with the numbers. 18 divided by 3 will give you 6. S divided by s, so they cancel out, so they give you 1. And you have a to the power of 1 here and a to the power of 2 above there, so you subtract the exponents, so you're just going to have 6a for now. And we look for, so we are done with a's, we're done with the a's, so let's look at x. So if x to the power of 2 and x to the power of 2, so we cancel those ones because x to the power of 2 divided by x to the power of 2 is 1. Now we are left with y. Okay, now we are left with y to the power of 3, and as you can see, the denominator does not have a y, so your answer is 6a y to the power of 3. That is how you simplify your fractions using the multiplication method. Now let's do something more interesting. So example number 2 has x, yes, sr to the power of 2 all over 2t divided by st over 4. Now the rules say if you have a division sign there, you invert and multiply. So this is going to be sr squared divided by 2t times 4 divided by 4 over st. Okay, so what we did there, we invert and multiply. Now we are now going to directly multiply the numerators and also directly multiply the denominators. This is going to be sr squared times 4 divided by 2t times st. Now if I continue this up there, this is going to be 4 sr squared divided by 2. So this is going to be 2 st squared, because there's t and t multiplying there, they give you st, they give you t squared. Now you have 4 divided by 2. We start with the numbers. 4 divided by 2, we are going to have 2. And you have s divided by s, so if they're the same like that, you just divide them, and on top there you are left with r. So r does not divide anything, you are left with r squared divided by t squared, because it doesn't divide anything also. So that is how you work with some of these values. And guys, the exponents are very important. Okay, yes, we're dealing with fractions, but whenever multiplying numbers or dividing numbers, exponents will be there and you need to be careful with them. Now let's do the third one and see if you will manage to do it. So I suggest that you first pause the video for a second, try to do it and check and come back for corrections. All right, so just pause it now. So all right, so since you're back, let's see if you found the correct answer. So it says simplify 5. You open your bracket, you have x minus 6 close brackets over x plus 5 divided by x minus 6 over 12. So we have that huge value there, and let's see if we will easily find the answer. Now the first step, you need to check if you have a division or multiplication sign there, and we have a division sign, so we need to invert and multiply. So this is going to be, we write again 5x minus 6 divided by x plus 5 times now. So we invert and multiply. So this is going to be times 12 over x minus 6. Now, once we find ourselves in this situation, we simply multiply directly. Okay, we multiply values directly. So now you're going to have 12 and 5 multiplying there. Okay, let me write it like this first. So this is going to be 5x minus 6 multiplied by 12 on top there. Divide this by, let's just open a bracket, so this x plus 5 and multiplied by x minus 6. Now we will note that we have 12 and 6, so we need to first multiply those two values there. 12 times 6 is 60. Divide this, so you have 60 x minus 6, close the bracket, and then you have x plus 5 and another bracket of x minus 6. So guys, if you find yourself with such a situation where you have a bracket that looks similar to another bracket that you have underneath there, it is the same concept that when we had x divided by x, we cancel them and we say the answer is 1. So the same concept happens here, where this bracket will cancel the other bracket, so it means you are left with 60. Let me just write it here. So you're left with 60 there over this bracket that we didn't make use of it, so over x plus 5. So you can write the brackets or remove them, that is up to you. So guys, that is how you multiply and divide fractions. Okay, so you need to be careful with exponents if they're going to be there. You need to be careful with signs. So guys, this is how we do it. All right, so keep on trying to do more questions, more and more questions, and trust me guys, you will definitely manage to do fractions, the multiplication and division of fractions. So thank you for joining me on today's lesson, and I will definitely see you on the next one.